Welcome to the Chit Chat. What's good? It's your favorite Bronxite, Nova Church, and we are back. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, wherever you are. I hope you having some good vibes, and if you're not, I hope you could get some good vibes right now. So welcome. Shout out to everybody that's been messaging me. I have a list of guests that I will be pursuing and will be unfolding on the podcast in coming episodes in the new year. We're gonna set it off like this. We're not gonna go with any resolutions, but thank you everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to y'all. We're not gonna talk about resolutions. We're gonna talk about. You know what? Let's start off with a question that came from Jim Salzar from Texas, and he asked, "How did you get into running?" Which is a great question, because running is a great part of my life. It's a big part of my life, and I was inspired by my mom. Now, my mom is not a professional athlete, but my whole entire life growing up, she was always into fitness. And because of that, it allowed me to see how important it was in your everyday life as far as having energy to do the amount of things that you want to do within a day, and how it just makes sense to do that. And seeing that allowed me to really have a appreciation for it, because at a young age I was attempting exercises and things of that nature. And my mother always used to get certified to be a physical instructor. I think it was an aerobics instructor, but she would only get it just because, just to have it, just to have that knowledge, But she retained that knowledge and used it for her own, advantages throughout the years. And I could say when I was in my early teens, she used to run early in the morning. She used to get up, crack a dawn. She's out there and she's running, and she used to run a block, walk a block, run a block, walk a block on the Grand Concourse here in the Bronx. And so it was from like the Tremont area going downtown towards 161st Street, where we would approach Yankee Stadium. And there was times where we used to go to Yankee Stadium. The old track that used to be where Yankee Stadium is now, there used to be this old track there in a baseball field. And we used to run around that track. As I was saying, when I got older, when I was in junior high school, we had a track team. But it wasn't like a funded, this is the Bronx, Our programs wasn't really that great, but there was a high morale and friendly competition. So we used to go to the track and we used to compete with each other. And we used to have to do relay races, and we used to race against each other. And so I felt like, you know what? If I want to be faster and compete, and I wasn't the fastest by far. So I was like, let me go run with my mom. Like, let me train like Rocky. Let me get out here, run a block, walk a block with Mom Dukes, And I enjoyed it. And I used to go out pretty frequently with my mom when I could get up. And this is during the week before school. And it really allowed me to see what it is to go out, push yourself, kind of early on in life. So it allowed me to understand what it takes to be a great runner. Throughout my life, I always, landed on physical activities to keep me driven and focused. And I did some ninjutsu when I was young, so we used to do push-ups and certain exercises, and so I always had pride. I was proud that I could do my push-ups and things like that. And I got older, I got into some trouble, so I was in places where we was doing a lot of calisthenics. And in that process, uh, I developed a great workout routine because I had a lot of time on my hands. So when I got a little older, um, I was on Rikers Island, right? And I was in an area called the Sprungs. Now, that area is for nice folk, people who are really not that violent. And in this area, they had an outdoor yard, and they had an old decrepit track. I used to go out there and I used to run, and you could see New York City from that decrepit track. And I used to run and picture myself running through the city. And this is way before I really started running. I was out there in some Reebok classics, running around. Around 2008 and 2009, right? I really wanted to get back on my fitness game. And I just started running, started exercising, push-ups and stuff in the house. Tell you a funny story. So when I decided to start running in the Bronx, this is like 2009-ish, and I called my friend up. I'm like, yo, Felix, yo, come run with me. Come run with me. You said you want to work out, right? Come run with me. He came downstairs. So he's like, yo, we're gonna go over there to Claremont Park in the Bronx. We go, we running, we're jogging, you know. You see that all the time, right? In parks, you would think, right? Couple minutes later, a police car is driving behind us, and it's one of the what we call paddy wagon. It's the van. So they put the lights, and I'm thinking they want to go by. So I kind of moved to the side, let them go by. They don't want to go by. They tell us to stop. They come up to us. They come out. They go, what you guys are doing? And I'm in like basketball shorts and some running sneakers, like some New Balances or something. We're clearly jogging, like, You sure that's all you guys are up to? I mean, we're in the park with like jogging clothes on, like, you guys got ID? And I can't remember if I had my ID or not in that moment, because I kind of remember thinking to myself, I hope they don't ask me for ID. And because I got my sweatpants on, right? My basketball shorts. I'm gonna carry ID in my basketball shorts. So they was like, "Yo, go ahead, guys, go ahead, keep running. We'll be behind you like we're chasing you. Give you some street cred. And in that moment, I'm like, wow, like we can't even jog in the park. This is crazy." So that kind of killed the vibe, but we finished our run itself. That moment was really like a deterrent for me running outside and being active outside. But thank God that never stopped me. 2011, okay. Me and my wife, we moved by Bronx Park. We were living close to Bronx Park. And I started gaining some weight. So I'm like, I need to go run. So I used to go run in Bronx Park. And I used to take my dog Nova at the time. He used to run like 3 miles with me. That's before he got fat. Rest in peace, Nova. And, I used to just do it to stay active. Then my daughter was born. I was, being physically active. But when she was born, I just, because I was doing music. Before all of this, I was always doing music. I'm not doing music, running always kinda substitutes the feeling I get, the euphorias, right? From when I'm performing on stage and whatnot. So around the time my daughter was being born, and around the time I was doing music, I was doing music, I wasn't. So running, I wanted to be great. Something that had to, you always have something deep inside that make you want to be great. And running, you could tap into that greatness because you push yourself. You start off at a place that's hard. You can't get through it. There's a wall. And over time you break that wall down, and there's a moment where that sun is shining through, and that darkness is no longer there, and you're happy. And you could create those moments in running, no matter what your level of ability is. A little bit after that, I kind of stopped, and I ended up 210 pounds. I was like 206 or 207 the last I weighed, but I was heavier than that. So I really had hit a wall. Like, I was like, oh man, I gotta find my edge. And then, I didn't really know it was running, to give me that balance. And then I dived right back into running. And but this time I took it way more serious. I started getting into races. It was I think 2013, my first race. A coworker of mine told me about how his wife runs this race. And it's called the Penny Harvest. What they kids from schools collect money. They basically take entrepreneurship and the money collected to get their own grants and things of that nature. So I rose money up for the charity, and then I ran it, and it was a 5K by the Hudson River. Cool day. And I think I came in like ninth place out of like 300 people or whatever. I was like super excited about it, and that was good for me to start, because it left me hungry. But I'm not ninth place in it all the time. But it was a nice quick race, and it was the first time I took a picture with my daughter after a race, and she's looking at me like, "Daddy, why you keep running and stuff?" And I'm like, "My baby don't know what's going on and stuff," and and it was a beautiful moment in a photo, because I got to capture that. But that's when I really started getting into the races. And then in New York City, we have New York Road Runners, and then we have NYC runs. And I started doing races with NYC runs, some hot chocolate runs, starting to get more into it. Found out about the marathon, started training for the marathon. So by like 2014, I'm running Brooklyn, I'm running the Bronx 10 mile, so on and so forth. And by 2015, I'm doing the marathon. 2016, I'm doing the marathon. PR the marathon, the second one, and dedicated the second one to my father, because he had just passed in that October. And then I took a break from running races because I'm not rich, and I want to figure out what else I could be doing with this ability of running and whatnot. But in 2016, I met Bronx Soul, got with Bronx Soul, been a captain there ever since, and that's been my running journey. And Bronx Soul was a running group in the Bronx where we do community outreach and weekly runs, and try to give back to the community the best way we can. Look us up. In the nutshell, don't really set New Year's resolutions when it comes to fitness. Maybe create a lifestyle for yourself that you adapt yourself into. With that being said, make sure you like, share, subscribe, holla at your boy. Welcome to Chit Chat with Church. Now get your butt out. I see y'all later. Deuces.